we saw him banned in the second tier last game, and now this time they go ahead and ban him in the first tier of bans. As far as that's concerned. So obviously that's coming out there for Reason Gaming. For their, but so kind of interesting again on that logic there as far as why, why that's so different this time around. But hey, we'll see how that affects things. Again, Puppet Master Rhapsody coming out from BMG, so 2 heroes that we did see last game. But there is a Parasite as a jungle option. Tempest once again up there. So again, will we see a jungler come out with the changes, or will it be different? Who knows? Who knows? As far as the picks are concerned, what are we talking about here? Sure. I guess if they want to do best out of 5, I guess I'm not against that. I don't think it would be against that. So there we go. No, that is fine. Don't force me. Yeah, right. All right, so. It looks like we got a best out of 5 going to be coming at you here, as far as we're progressing. So obviously with the all right. So what were we talking about though? Okay. So anyway, so it's 1-0 right now for BMG and the best out of 5 here. Let's see. Look at the picks again. The Engineer first pick, kind of interesting start right there, as far as that's concerned. Looking at the Engineer, we didn't even see him last game. Not your usual go-to support hero nowadays, but also making the point of kind of telegraphing to an extent of maybe what they want to do, either an aggressive tri-lane or run that dual lane setup. But something tells me more of an aggressive tri-lane setup. Already got the Engineer Pebbles for it. We'll see who they throw on top of there as well. You see Kraken was the next pickup for BMG. Pebbles into Hag. Tundra, though, coming out for Reason Gaming. So, again, it's a matter of BMG. How do they read this? Where do they read this here as far as where this is going for this draft? So, all right, let's see. I actually might have a co-cast here. 1 second. Give me a second here, guys. All right. Oh, he is already in it, apparently. Is he? Oh, I guess. Okay, so that's what he meant. All right, let me go to give him a call. I don't know if I've actually had him a co-caster before, but hey, why not? Why not? Let's get a co-caster in here. Hello.
Hello, breaking.
Snooey. Snooey,
Hi.
that is your name. I'm joined by Snooey here as my co-caster. There we go. Got a co-caster coming at you. So you said you're in the game?
Yep, I'm in the lobby, or I'm in the drafting.
The drafting stage it is. All right, so here we go. Welcome, Snooey. I take it, you watched that first game there?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you think?
Well, interesting picks for sure. Jonas and Fan being the MVP on that Monster Farms. And, well, a bit of sloppy misplays in the early stage of the game and jump up on the tri-lane, kind of making Reason Gaming the beginning of the game. And then, well, BMG is making the better team fights, I would say, overall.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely look good through it. I mean, Immo Boy doing his thing, man. He's did his thing last game on that Puppet Master, tried, but obviously not enough. Yeah, what I was noticing last game, man, that Null Fireblade just wrecked Reason Gaming on several different levels. So that was kind of fun to see in that aspect. But we got a game 2. That's what matters. And apparently it's a best out of 5 now. So I don't know if you saw that or not, but. No,
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, no, the teams, they were like, hey, we want to do a best out of 5? Sure, okay, let's do a best out of 5, because why not? Why not? Get some more action. So there's going to be a best out of 5, so no matter what happens this game, at least in one more game. But again, so as far as this draft is going, obviously we've already kind of moved along here. I was talking about the initial bans. Kind of interesting. Specifically Sir Bensington, because, you know, we saw last week, we mentioned he wasn't even banned altogether. He eventually got picked up, dominated. The first game, he was banned at the final ban in the second tier of bans, and this game he's just banned from the beginning. So it seems like teams are still, like, uncertain where this hero lies. What do you think about Sir Bensington?
Sir Bensington, the kind of hero that dominates during the laning phase, and you can't take him on in a 1-versus-1 situation.
Yeah.
After that, I feel like he drops a little bit, and he's very weak against push lineups, for example. But if you got a kind of ganking lineup with kind of Pebbles or something like that, gets the pull key early on, and then Sir Bensington gets to follow up on that. He is extremely annoying to deal with, and also he's very good if you're having map control, so to say.
Yeah.
Because you can never be safe at any lane. So push lineups, definitely his weakness, but other than that, you need to be playing 2 versus 1 against this hero.
Mm-hmm. So, again, not going to see it here, but it's like I said, it's still just kind of interesting where teams are kind of gauging him and nowadays after the World Finals, and we'll see how as that progresses on. But enough about heroes that aren't in this game. Let's talk about ones that are. The Engineer first pick. Also another thing I found kind of interesting here with the drafting stage. They followed up with the Pebbles Tempest. They eventually get Tundra and then Soul Stealer to finish things off. So they are going the jungle route. Reason usually not a team to jungle for one, but then on top of that, again, we've seen a lot of changes to the jungle in the recent patch. So what do you think of Reason's lineup overall?
It looks very steady. I'm a bit afraid that they have a little or too many heroes that requires a lot of farm. Since Engineer kind of needs some kind of levels, Pebbles is going to need a pull key, Soul Stealer, well, he's depending on that BKB, for example, so is Tempest.
Yeah.
So if BMG puts up a very offensive early game, I feel like they can just ride on that advantage throughout the entire game, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, Parasite was, well, a little bit nerfed, I would say, in the last patch. Because of that, hard camps experience was decreased by a bit. So, well, I'm interested to see if they're actually going to man up against this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, you know, when I saw that Engineer first pick, I was honestly thinking we might see a trial, like an aggressive trial in of some sort. So you have seen that, you know, with the NG picks lately, but obviously it's not going to, maybe in a pseudo trial in as you're kind of hitting, or even an aggressive dual lane, but will they man up, or will BMG kind of do that? So speaking of that, the Flux, the final pick, and that's classic synergy right there. Flux Kraken especially, just overall, I mean, look at that team. Outside of Parasite, really, as far as the AoE presence that it brings to the table, but they too go jungle. So both teams going a jungle this time, unlike last game. Bad Monkey Gaming, AoE synergy once again. What stands out to me? What about you?
Yeah, I'm personally very excited for this game because these drafts, they are not very well common. It might be a result of the latest patch and the changes, but yeah, we will see. I think they might man up with the Flux and the Torture.
Okay.
Could be an option, because Soul Stealer is going to be on the safe lane, and he can't really be laning with Engineer. Engineer Soul Stealer, that's not really going to work out. So at the same time, they have the Tempest in the forest, he's not going to be able to do anything. So it's kind of a matter of who they want to shut down. If they want to shut down the Pebbles in the mid lane, or if they want to shut down the Soul Stealer. And right now I feel like shutting down the Soul Stealer is the #1 priority, because Pebbles is not necessarily the best 1 versus 1 hero.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a great point being brought up. So we'll see if BMG, they do address the lonely Soul Stealer, if that's what it comes down to. But again, Reason Gaming, they are going to send 05 at the bottom initially. They, in fact, get a lane ward placed by Panny here at the bottom to get some information. It's shaping up as if they're even going to do like a short lane NG Pebbles, perhaps? Maybe not. Maybe not. They're still kind of scouting things out as far as where they ultimately want to go. But as far as BMG, it looks like they're pretty determined. They are. They're going the Flux Torture, so you called it there, Snooey. Going the aggressive dual lane. But now how is Reason going to respond? They sent Pebbles initially bottom, so that's what I was talking about. It looked like that he was going to get going bottom. Sure enough, he is. But this does make that... Is NG going to go with Soul Stealer? No, he's just handing off regen. Okay. And now he's heading back towards bottom. Soul Stealer middle. Okay, so it's going to be a solo Soul Stealer middle in the end. That's all shaping up. So, yeah. Will this work for BMG now because of this change, you think?
I honestly think that it's going to work out pretty well for them, because Kraken is in the mid lane, he got the Log's Hatchet even, and he's known to be a very hard hitter against the Soul Stealer, whose auto-attack damage is very low until he got those charges up on the Soul Steal. I don't think it's going to do that well in the mid, and the Parasite is going to be in the enemy forest or in the Legion forest to punish him even more. Or actually, he's going to rotate to his own forest here, I see.
Yeah. Yeah, decides to go to his own. Well, maybe? No. He's like, wait a second. I'm going to go back there. All right. Maybe they thought for some reason that Tempest was in their jungle and wanted to go, but no. Something obviously changed its mind really quickly. So back
yeah, lost a little bit of time, but well, he's here now at least. He made up his mind, but now he lost the Catman champion, and Tempest is going to get a head start from this. So a small mistake like that can kind of cost you the game, or not the game, but the advantage in the forest at least.
Yeah. Well, you see right here, he actually finds Tempest. He's actually going to take the Vulture Lord from him and even kill off one or maybe two of his creeps. So he does get a little bit of revenge right there in the end. Even using the Cyclone damage, he really wants that last kill before falling back. So that's where the whole Parasite impact is going to start to come into play. We'll see how St. Rock's playing the Tempest is able to deal with that in the end. But this is the middle lane. You were kind of talking about that. So Soul Stealer again. This is how the hero works. Obviously, it's no secret. He needs to build up the souls to get more and more damage, and eventually can do strong. But early on, he's a lot weaker. So far, Kraken 8-4, Soul Stealer 2-1. So going as expected, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, I think the Logos Hatchet is well. He chose to go for the Logos Hatchet when he found out that he was going to be against the Soul Stealer. So very good decision by Super KG.
Yeah.
Had a bit unfortunate charges in the last game, but still played pretty well.
Oh man, let's not talk about that. Yeah, he's used to be able to hook people to him, not going to them and charging.
Yeah, that's a
them
good point.
I guess. So something was off there, but hey, he did land the one big one at the bottom lane that got the Puppet Master killed in the end. So at least that came through. The top lane, the last matchup to kind of talk about. Well, actually, Tempest not going to die, but again, just a lot of harassment. We got the Hag versus the Tundra up here. Again, Tundra and that Suicide versus a short lane Wretched Hag. Currently 9-1 Hag. You got a Tundra that's 10-1. So actually, Zane here, he's a boss when it comes to Suicide, especially on Tundra. Seems like he is off to a good start here against the Wretched Hag.
Yeah, Zane is really annoying to deal with in those 1-versus-1 situations, and Fus is really feeling it right now. It's not easy to last it against a melee hero, especially not as Hag, whose auto-attack damage is relatively low in the early levels. And, well, Zane putting on or picking up those early marchers is kind of making it even more difficult for Fusi to actually do something up here.
Yeah.
I feel like he needs a Parasite to support him if he's going to win this lane.
Uh-oh. Soul Stealer, he wanted the turn kill, but he's not going to get it. He goes down first. Kraken, he did land the Tsunami Charge that time around. Parasite was there to assist, of course, and they end up getting the Bloodlust. Bottom lane, as well. Yeah, there's a little bit. Yeah, down goes Pebbles right there, so look at that. BMG really turning on the throttle, and all of a sudden they got a pretty hefty lead going on.
Yeah, this is what I feared. They are executing this pretty damn well. Doesn't matter really if Hag is winning that top lane as for now, since they're winning the mid lane and the bot lane. That's all that matters. As long as they shut down the Pebbles in this game, Reason Gaming is not going to be able to do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not good news. And we were just talking about Zane on Tundra. I think it's safe to say, even more so now, they're really going to rely on him. I mean, he's the only one that's having a decent start here. We're still very early on, but they need him. You think it's safe to say maybe get level 6 and start roaming at this point?
It's a tricky question, because at the same time I don't necessarily feel like they have the damage output to actually follow up on his avalanche. So for now I think they should just stick to the top lane and punish Hag a little bit.
Yeah. Well,
but it's hard, because like a Tundra cannot necessarily carry his team. He's the kind of hero that is setting up kills for his other teammates. So, well, no good news for him.
Whoa, he wants that kill, but it's not going to happen. Oh, but a charge!
Oh, gosh. That's so unfortunate. Once again, and he even had a haste. But he might be getting the kill anyway.
Yeah, he does have a release the Kraken, so as long as he places this appropriately, yeah, barely kind of pulling him in. A couple more auto attacks, splash coming up.
The haste is
one more. Yes, he gets it. Jeez, yeah, the haste just wore off there as you were mentioning, but he is going to get away. At the bottom lane in the meantime, how about that? Panny falling down here as he's trying to fight them off, and actually they're going to find Tempest as well. Uh-oh, Tempest in trouble now. You see Parasite chasing, has a leech in 1 second, going to be coming up right here. There's the leech use, and Tempest, you crafty fellow, you. Okay, yeah, he does die. As they eventually pick him up, but now they're kind of in enemy territory, and this could be a problem.
Soul Stealer is coming in from the top, but he doesn't have that much mana.
Yeah. No, they're going to be fine. I think they're going to be fine. Look at that. Torture, stun, Soul Stealer just in case. And yeah, Flux is too tanky. There's no way they're killing him at this point. He pushes him away, says, get off me, bro. And that
But I might catch someone. They're going to get one at least, I think. Hag is coming in, though, with the Bad Blast.
Oh, Soul Stealer. He just melts. Tempest realizing that this was a horrible decision as he gets cut off by support in the background. He's doing his darndest to maybe get a kill, but it's not going to happen. Down he goes. Bad Monkey Gaming. They're just all over Reason Gaming here in game number 2. And I don't want to speak too soon, but it's good that this was turned into a best out of 5. I think is what I'll say, because this game 2 is going quickly so far.
And the initiation on the top lane, putting on some pressure onto Zane. Don't think he's gonna get a kill. Oh, actually, he is gonna get a kill.
Maybe?
No, Avalanche.
No.
Yes, defensively.
Yeah. Well, okay, so Znui, here you go. Tough question. What does Recent Gaming do here?
What do? They have a Tempest level 3. Their highest GPM hero is Tundra with 235. So, honestly, I'm not sure. I feel like this was a huge outdraft by BMG. Way too greedy draft by Reason. Not thinking it through completely. First picking NG, you said, right?
Yeah, first pick NG.
First picking NG is, well, it's risky because your opponents know that he is going to be in the dual lane, in the mid lane. So you can kind of draft from that, so to say. You can draft as greedy as you want because you know that Engineer is not going to be able to necessarily roam or be played in the safe lane as a baby sitter or something like that. So just matting up like this, picking the Parasite, 2 ranged heroes, and well, here we go.
And as you're trying to give them help, it's just falling apart once again. Pebbles at the bottom lane, he doesn't stand a chance. They dive him easy. Parasite, obviously a big part of that, as well as the Flux and Torture doing their thing. So a couple more easy kills as both Tundra and Pebbles are now dead once again. 7.5 minutes in. I mean, it's also, again, going back to him, this hero has all the recovery chance in the world. You speak of heroes that can recover from the most worst start ever to being the most dominant hero in the game. We've seen it before, way in the past, but it's still the same concept. It's just not likely this time around. He usually needs a supporting cast at least to be doing well around him, and ain't happening. In fact, bottom lane, more to that. Engineer doing what he can to just survive at this point. He's not going to, though. He will get cut off by Flux. Pebbles also going back in, looking for a turn kill. He needs to run away, though. Flux is coming in. He is level 6, but he doesn't have the mana. He will have the mana. Okay, I was going to say, he could have maybe got actually Pebbles right there if he used the discharge on him, but no. They get the kill on Tempest, at least, and they'll be happy with that. So at least a kill finally for Reason Gaming, but more so BMG is just doing fine. What about the Strider's change? I just remembered that, actually. It now provides the health bonus. Yeah, the health regen by 2. In the latest patch, you see Parasite picking them up right here. I think that was a solid change, as well. There is more action at the bottom. Ooh, this could be decent actually. Soulstealer coming in with an Invis rune. He gets pushed away. He's going to be seen. The Reverend also seeing him initially anyways. Yeah, he's in trouble now. He is going to be bursted down. Flux is just so tanky, man, especially this early on in the game. Tempest goes down. Is there even any point to continue play-by-play? I don't think there is.
No, they can call it GG's now. There's no point to play this out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, Snooey, welcome to the cast. You join in 9-minute victory.
I'm not sure if it's on my part, but your sound is going a little bit up and down, so I'm having a bit trouble hearing you at the moment.
Oh, let me make an adjustment real quickly to hopefully help with that. Okay. Maybe it's my mic for you is in a different spot, so I think I keep turning away. That might be it. I'll try my best to stay in this direction.
All right.
Hopefully it's not too big of a deal. Let me know if it continues to be. But
yeah, now it's completely gone again. It's like lowering and raising. Yeah, sometimes you're hearable, sometimes you're not. It's going a little bit up and down, but it might be my end. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I don't think so though.
Oh, I made the adjustments that I could. I don't know if there's more I can do, unfortunately. So, hopefully it's not too much of an issue.
Well, let's leave it at that. There is some initiation on the top lane on the Tundra. Kraken is gonna finish. No. Archer?
Yeah? No.
Almost.
Almost. What do you think of Parasite now as far as the new jungle, like the new minions that he has? Are there, out of the new minions, do you think that there is going to be one that kind of stands out for a hero like Parasite?
I have a follow-up question on that first. Do you know that creep that explodes when it's killed?
The Ebola or whatever? Maybe no, it's not the. Is it the Ebola?
Yeah, I think so. If the Parasite is actually like consuming that, do you know if it explodes?
Oh, that's a good call. I want to say, because I guess you could say for a puzzle box mauler, it would be the same concept.
Yeah.
Which I don't think it explodes if he uses that, so I'm not 100% sure. I honestly don't know.
But at the same time, the puzzle box mauler is... Yeah, I'm not sure. It could be viable if that's the case.
Yeah.
Then you can definitely use that creep in like gank attempts. But other than that, no, not really. There is one creep that also works as Alchemist Bones.
Yeah.
And you can use that to speed up your farm a little bit. But other than that, no, I think still the Catmans, the Skeleton Kings, they are going to be the dominant creeps for Parasites.
Yeah. The Sight maybe in certain cases, but yeah, no, I think you're right. It's more the usual, not a whole lot of change there. But actually, okay, Flux goes down. They've been diving a lot, as again we're kind of just going on about other things, more relevance really in the end, but not looking good for a reason. And again, I think they are just simply playing it out to the 15-minute mark at this point before they can officially concede and move on to Game 3.
Just having a little bit of fun, I guess, if you can call it that. More suffering than fun, but.
Sure, we'll call it that. What about the Strider change then? We kind of talked about that for a second. Now 2 health regen as well. You like that? You a fan of that?
I like Striders overall. I always pick them up on the support hero that I'm playing, more or less, unless the enemy team has bulky hero, and then I go for the Steam Boots. But other than that, I'm always... I like going to Striders so I can run around the map and ward up fast. So, well, yeah, definitely it's going to be adding a little bit more of a sustainability, I guess, for the supports in the early game.
Yeah.
But it's only active when the Strider's boost is activated, right? Yeah.
Correct, yeah. It's not an all-time thing. That would even be more ridiculously stronger, of course. But, yeah, only active when the Strider effect is active itself. Of course, out of combat. Speaking of combat, Soul Stealer again gets picked off, and they're chasing in. Discharge going to be used right there. Tundra, the Bat Blast, or the Sonar Scream, I should say, to finish off Tempest. And, yes, Tundra will eventually fall shortly after. They somehow managed to all get away, actually. A level 3 engineer, Penny's doing what he can. He's going to kickstun right there, but his damage is so minimal at this point, it doesn't matter. And he just falls, so.
He does.
Yep, he goes down. So, yeah, I think it's safe to say you kind of hit it on the nail, I think. Just simply outdraft had a lot to do with this game.
Yeah, simply too many heroes that requires a lot of farm and that are not effective in the early game. Like, you need to balance your team based on the early game, the mid game. You need some initiation, you need some team fight potential, for example. Yeah. In this particular game, it was like 4 heroes or 3 heroes that has a lot of team fight, 2 heroes that have initiation, maybe even 3, so none early game, so to say.
Yeah.
And well, BMG Hansken is an experienced drafter. He knows how to counter these kind of things. So, first picking an engineer, it's a bit risky.
Yeah, that definitely stands out. Especially if this was 6 months ago, definitely not as crazy. But nowadays, that's not something you usually would see. And perhaps that was the beginning of obviously what went wrong there for Reason Gaming for this game. So another kill happened off the side, but again, we're just simply keeping an eye on the timer at this point and waiting for the 15-minute mark. Tsunami Charge landing right there. It's a little bit of a boost of hope there for Super KG and his Kraken play coming out as he lands that one. So again, while we are in some kind of overtime here, I'm gonna have you on, Snooey, and the patch 3.4, obviously a big topic to talk about. Was there anything from the patch that, if there was one change that's on the top of your mind that you really liked, what would it be? Do you have anything on the top of your mind?
Well, I like the neutral creeps that they changed the camps in the forest. I feel like that's gonna change the meta game quite a lot.
Yeah.
Then they nerfed the Energizer a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see, it's a bit more expensive now, correct? But it's still a viable item to pick up for sure. Wait, we're having a little bit of initiation here. So.
But who cares? I want to hear about your Energizer.
Oh, alright. Well, Hansken was actually streaming a little bit earlier and he was talking about this Energizer and if it's still worth picking up. And yeah, at some point you might want to consider something else, like going for a Firebrand or something like that instead. But at least always have one Energizer. Like, you should always try to get these kind of team items. One Bulwark, one Abyssal Skull, Ring the Teacher in the early game, and then you should always have potentially the Barrier Idol if you're going for the push strat, and then the Energizer, so to say. So maybe we're not going to see as many Energizers as we are, or as we used to, but we're definitely going to see at least one in every single game. Yeah,
no, to me it feels like it's going to be less of a short lane carry out like the Corrupted, the Soul Stealer, whatever, the Moon Queens down there, and more of maybe a secondary support jungler pickup even to have that for your team, kind of like you were talking about. But yeah, we'll see how that moves